So we're at the final stages now, and we're looking at creating a balanced mix of a composition. So what we want to do is need to break it down into little bits first off. So we're going to look firstly at mixing the drums. So mute out everything apart from the drums. And if you press X, you'll bring up your mixer. And then use your ears, trust your ears, to mix the levels, the balance, how the sounds relate to each other first. Use a tiny bit of panning, micro panning recording, just to add a little bit of interest to the stereo image. And with the combination of the effects and everything at this point, you should be getting a nice fat sound. Now then you want to add in the bass. Now bass and drums should be grooving. Let's listen to the first one. So if it's not moving you with the bass and the drums, there's something wrong. So that's the next stage. Just carry on, get the bass fitting nicely with the drums. And then let's look at the keyboards. So I'm just going to solo out the keyboards, mute out everything else. So there's a lot of stereo information in these anyway. But I've panned the bell pad a little bit to the left here. And the mod, the organ, is a little bit to the right. So then the organ comes in. So again, it's like using the stereo image as well as trying to get the nice balance of instruments. And finally, you would work on the vocals, which is, in this case, samples. And then get them all fitting nicely into it. I mean, always try and reference to something, a reference to a track that you like, that's similar to the track you're trying to create, and use that as a reference, especially when you're starting out. It's so important. And yeah, so that concludes this tutorial. Have fun with it, and send me some mixes if you've done them. See, let me hear what you've done. So you finished your mix, and now you have to bounce it. So for EdXL reasons, we need to be under 230 seconds. Actually, this is just slightly over, so I'm going to have to do a fade out at the end section here. So what I'm going to do is, on my main output, if I go to touch or latch, it will now create that track here, stereo out. I can now use that to create a fade out for the end section. There we go, that's our fade. Put it into read, and if I press A, you can see, should be able to see how the display's off. Let's turn this display on. There we go, there's my little automation fade there. Okay, so now I want to bounce it. So I make the loop go around the section that I want it to bounce here, so from bar 1 up to bar 62, whatever. And I've got this little nump button here, BNCE, which means bounce. So click on that, and you come up with this bounce window. So I often do real time because I like to hear it going down while it's being recorded. It's just an old habit, basically, in the old days when you used to have to listen to it go down onto tape. But you can do it offline as well. PCM is the format that you want with that, and that stands for pulse code modulation. The file format should be AIFF or WAV. Resolution should be 24-bit. Sample rate should be 44,000.1. And yeah, basically you don't need to add it to the project. You could do. And that's what you want. Now, if you want to make a smaller version for your phone or for putting up online, then I would recommend using the M4A AAC codec as well. So click on that, and this will make another copy. Now, the higher the bit rate, the better the quality. 256 is pretty good. And that creates a small file size version, which is basically for kind of digital release. And that's what you do. And then when you're ready, you just press OK. And then you come up with this, and then you you name it, whatever you want it to name it. So shape of view example remix, mix 1, and there you go. And that's going to start bouncing that. So yeah, that's basically the end of the mixing tutorial. Have a look at the other tutorials, sampling, sequencing, synthesis, because they will help you with your composition. All right, good luck.